The following is a production of White Lightning Entertainment. This is Burning Rubber Radio.
And the 65th Daytona 500 is underway. He won a dual race here a year ago in the team's new debut, and he's going to win stage one as they come to the line. First stage win for Keselowski in the Daytona 500. To the flag to end stage two, 3 wide, the 6th row back, and it's Chastain by inches. All right, Stenhouse gets the white flag. The net flag ends it. No, the caution is out. Ricky Stenhouse has won the Daytona 500.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Daytona 500 winner. Let me tell you, that's been a long time coming.
Burning Rubber Radio is brought to you by Drive Refine. It's more than driver coaching. It's Drive Refine. Visit driverefine.com to get signed up today. Now from the White Lightning Entertainment Studios in Statesville, North Carolina, here's your host, Andy DeLay.
Hey, everybody, it's Burning Rubber Radio. Fastest 60 minutes in motorsports. I'm your host, Andy DeLay, and it's the Daytona 500 edition of Burning Rubber Radio for 2024, and I'm here with my co-host, Wayne Owens, and the NASCAR chef, John Dix. And boys, we've got a lot to talk about this week.
Oh, yeah, we have got a bunch to talk about here. In fact, I'm not going to lie, we might as well just kick it right off here while we've got a second in the open. I am pissed that Kansas City won it last night.
You're pissed about that? I'm so happy my boy Mahomie did it in the end.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I'm happy Mahomes won it again. Like, I don't mind that Mahomes won it again. I just hate seeing all the Swifties on social media like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah, but I tell you what I am happy about, and both of you should put a big smile on your face. I hit 2 squares in the game, buddy. I'm $500 richer.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Now, wait.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, and see, what's funny is, speaking of sports books and stuff like that, North Carolina is finally getting sports books come March 11th. So, folks, if you listening in the North Carolina area, DraftKings is coming to North Carolina finally. And legally.
Yeah. And legally, yeah.
Well, guys, it didn't matter to me who won the Super Bowl because as long as it was a good game, neither one of my favorite team, but made the best team win. So, good for them.
Yeah. Too bad Alabama wasn't in it, right?
Oh, that would have that would have been nice. I mean, they should have been national champions last year too, but we won't get into that one.
Well, we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Other than that, we've got a neat organization, Wayne, that we're going to be talking with today that are giving a lot of rides, so to speak, to veterans, correct?
Yeah, from what John over has told us here is that we have a gentleman coming on with Warriors Next Chance, and it's a veterans organization that does a lot in the world of motorsports, specifically dirt racing. So I'm pretty enthralled to talk to this gentleman here and see what kind of cool stuff they offer in the world of motorsports.
Well, you're right, Wayne. It's actually called warriorsnextadventure.com.
Or Warriors Next Adventure. Okay, there you go.
That's fine. We were close.
It's nothing like Wayne being prepped for the show, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. I mean, it's not like I prepped 48 hours in advance, but we won't get into that.
But anyways, like we were saying, Nick is a great guy. He does a lot of stuff for veterans, and he actually puts some of them in dirt cars and has a lot of fun, and we're going to get to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun stuff to talk about here, and not to mention, like Andy said, it's the Daytona 500 episode here, so not only are we going to be getting ready for the 500 this weekend, we're going to be getting back into it where we're going to have picks once again.
Once again, that's right.
And Andy, if you remember from last year, you are limited to 5 Kyle Larson picks this year.
I mean, who says I want Larson this year? Who knows, man? I might not. Noah Gragson's back.
Okay. Let me, five of the same pick throughout the entire season.
Oh, parody! It just kills you, don't it?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So five Larson, 5 Gragson, 5 of anybody at that point. You're limited to 5. That's it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Well, I got some news about Trackhouse, guys.
Oh, let's hear it, man.
Yeah, Dan Crocker is their head cook, and he's retiring.
Ooh.
And I've been talking to Dan all weekend, so we'll just kind of see how that works out.
Oh my gosh, you're going to jump from the Stuart Haas camp possibly to Trackhouse? That's a hell of a jump.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, guys, going back and doing all that stuff again, I'm not sure, but I would. But if Zippy asked me to come back, I would. And we all know Justin Marks is one of the nicest guys in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And I would work for Justin in a heartbeat. So we'll just see what happens.
No, we'll definitely.
Wayne, we're going to get fat again at the track.
Oh, yeah. Woo! Yeah, it's gonna be a good old time. But folks, as you heard in the beginning of the show here, real quick before we get ready to take our first foreign fuel here, we are brought to you this week by Drive Refine over at driverefine.com, and we also want to welcome on board our newest partner, and My Pillow. And folks, I gotta be totally honest with you. I am stoked about the My Pillow deal, simply because of the fact being that you guys have seen the ads all over television. Simply some of the best product out there, hands down. The pillows, the comforters, the towels, the sheets.
Yep,
I mean, even so much as the My Slippers, Andy.
Yeah, I saw that. MyPillow.com, folks. We're going to have a promo code, right?
We actually already do, yeah. Make sure you go over to mypillow.com/BRR and use the promo code BRR at checkout for free. Yes, I said right. Free shipping on your order. So some really good stuff. I thought you were going to say for some free shit. He's already getting started off in high style, folks. But yeah, again, visit mypillow.com/BRR and use the promo code BRR, or you can call the toll-free number 1-800-322-8370. That's 800-322-8370 or mypillow.com/.
We'll have everything up on the
BRR.
.com, burningrubberradio.com on our Facebook page and whatnot.
Yep, we'll have it all. We'll have it all.
Hey, Wayne?
Yeah, John, what's up?
Don't forget, we have a shrimp pimp on board now.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right.
We got JR the shrimp pimp too, ladies and gentlemen. And as we like to say, shrimping ain't easy.
Shrimping ain't easy, baby. We'll be introducing you to the shrimp pimp here in the next week or so. And folks, if you want some shrimp, we're going to show you how to get the best shrimp, because this guy pimps shrimp.
Yep.
I bought some him yesterday and cooked it for the game. And I tell you what, sorry, Andy.
Well, I was going to say, I know you said you did some surf and turf a couple of weeks ago, John. Did you do surf and turf again a couple of nights ago for the Super Bowl?
Well, I did, and actually today I have a shrimp appetizer for the 500.
Okay, so folks, this week we've got shrimp. We've got shrimp on the barbie and shrimp on demand, rather, for the NASCAR.
Yeah, we've got a shrimp pimp, baby.
A lot of fun to be had for sure, ladies and gentlemen. But with that said, we're going to step aside. We're going to take that first foreign fuel, and when we come back, we're going to be getting into some news of the week. And Andy, I'm pretty excited with news of the week coming up here, because we've got some high limit stuff to be talking about. And again, Daytona 500, and well, you never know what is going to be coming up in news of the week.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
That when we help others,
we heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
we can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
Help every child we can.
Because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
Because their future
is our future.
And there's still so much they can teach us.
Burning Rubber is social. Follow us on Instagram at Instagram.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to more Burning Rubber.
And we are back on Burning Rubber Radio. It's producer Wayne along with Andy DeLay and the NASCAR chef John Dix. And boys, it's that time to jump into some news of the week. And Andy, I'll tell you what, brother, like we said earlier, news we have for everybody here. And I got to be honest with you here. First things first, when we break into things here, High Limit Racing came back here a couple of weeks ago with Kyle Larson. Not only that, Formula One's back in the news again this week here. NHRA's back in the highlights once again this week. And got a little bit of Cars Tour news for everybody once again this week. And might as well start it off in high style with that one there. Everybody knows Caden Honeycutt from the world of simulation racing, and he is officially set to drive full-time for MPM in the Cars Tour Pro Late Model Series this season in 2024. Honeycutt will pilot the number 51 Chevrolet starting at the season opener at Southern National Motorsports Park on March the 2nd. And some really good stuff all the way around for Caden Honeycutt.
Yeah, bud.
We've had him back on the show here a handful of times, so folks know exactly what he brings to the table, what he offers folks. Moving on over now into the world of the NHRA, Andy, and Bradenton already in the books, brother. The Winter Nationals has already happened.
Wow, down here in my neck of the woods. I didn't even know that.
Yep, it was actually this past Saturday, February the 10th. And Austin Prock from John Force Racing kicks off the season in high style as he funny car debut, actually, matter of fact, gets himself a dub in the inaugural Skag Power Equipment Pro Superstar Shootout presented by Johnson's Horse-Powered Garage at Bradenton Motorsports Park this past Saturday. And not only did Austin Prock get himself a win, reigning Top Fuel World Champion Doug Coletta and six-time Pro Stock World Champion and winningest woman in the history of the NHRA, Erica Enders, also picked up wins worth, you ready for this one?
Let's hear it.
$250,000 and $125,000 respectively.
Oh my gosh, I'll take
that. Good for her.
I honestly, I would just settle for the $125K that Erica won.
Yeah, man, that's dang.
And but yeah, this is something a little bit different than the NHRA's Winter Nationals. Actually, reading more into this here, the sportsman classes at the Pro Superstar Shootout also raced for big payouts with Darian Bosch from FTI Performance Top Sports from the Performance Top Sportsman class, Matt Daddis in the Super Stock, and Monty Bogan Jr. in the Stock Eliminator classes, collecting checks for $50,000 each for Top Sportsman, $30,000 for Super Stock and Stock Eliminator. So, yeah, again, $50,000, $30,000. I need a loan. Would you be willing to loan me some money there, Buzz?
Don't we all?
Right. And then, of course, in the funny car final round, Proc put together a run of, again, speaking, like when we were talking to Don Perdue a couple of weeks ago here, put together a run in funny car Nitro 3.845 seconds.
How?
At 332.42 miles per hour.
And that's at Bradenton.
That's at Bradenton.
Man, in this humid Florida air, you did that. That's putting some power to the ground and getting it there.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you really want to have your mind blown here, Andy, I saw this earlier here. Speaking also as well with the Pro Superstar Shootout here, Bob Tasca III, who is also a funny car driver, who I've had the pleasure of getting to talk to when they came to the Four Wide Nationals a couple of years ago. Bob Tasca III recorded the first ever 340 mile an hour pass by a wheel-driven vehicle in drag racing history this past Friday night.
At Bradenton.
At Bradenton.
Wow.
That's crazy. What are they going to do when they get, Denver's got thin air and stuff like that, but you get to some of the places that don't have the humidity that Florida does. That's moving.
Oh, yeah.
Like California,
Yeah. And but the way the article reads here is Tasca's 3.84 flat second pass, Andy, his top speed in that run, 341.68 miles per hour.
Wow.
Man. Well, that's hauling the mail, baby.
Mm-hmm. But here's what's even funnier though, and this will show you that there was actually somebody that actually managed to go faster than that, where that was his second pass, and with that put him number 2 on the final 8-car funny car qualifying order from this on Friday night. And as mentioned previously, Austin Prock, who competed in Top Fuel, earned the number 1 qualifier in his funny car debut.
Oh, good deal.
So, and then it looks like there was some news about Clay Millican as well here. Let's take a look here. Yeah. Actually, he had the number 1 qualifier in Top Fuel from this past Friday night. Erica Enders, as we talked about, 6-time NHRA Pro Stock World Champion. She had number 1 in Pro Stock, as we mentioned also as well. And the cool part to that is with those number 1 qualifying spots, not only did they take home the money that they won in the previous article that we discussed, but number 1 qualifiers also had a bonus of $10,000 courtesy of Lucas Oil.
Wow.
So
that's awesome. Lucas Oil still involved with that's. Now I heard Tony Stewart's running full time this year.
Yeah, Tony Stewart is running full time this year in Top Fuel. Nothing mentioned about him in any of the stuff this past weekend at the Pro Superstar Shootout. But we do still have the Winter Nationals coming, the Winter Nationals coming up here. I would say probably within the next couple of weeks here. We'll get confirmation on that and follow up on that in our later News of the Week segment that we talk about later in the show. But one last piece that we're going to talk about here before we get ready to hit our next Foreign Fuel, Andy. Can you believe that it's been 35 years ago today when Darrell Waltrip conquered the Daytona 500?
It's been that long since he's done the Iggy Shuffle.
Yep, it's been that long since he's done the Iggy Shuffle. Waltrip won his only Daytona 500 35 years ago this month.
My Lord. I remember watching that live.
Me too.
I wish I could say I remember it, but I was only a year old.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's right. You're a youngin'. Matter of fact, happy birthday this past week. Our producer here, Wayne Owens, just turned 21.
Yeah, 21 with 15 years experience.
Yeah, he's actually 35 days old. That's what he said. He said 35 sun revolution, so he's 35 days old.
No.
Sun revolutions around the earth.
I finished my 35th revolution yesterday, so I started
around the sun, you moron.
Yeah, exactly. So 36 has officially started. As
I had to give you a heck on that one, Wayne.
Trust me, if you didn't give me a little bit of hell on it, I wouldn't expect any different.
We love you, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. But with that said here, folks, we're going to step aside. We're going to take our next Foreign Fuel. And when we come back here, Andy, it's going to be time where we're going to sit down with our guest of the week, Nick Ron. You ready for this one, buddy?
Yeah, let's do this, bud.
All right. When we come back, our guest of the week, Nick Ron from Warriors Next Adventure.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
that when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
Visit us online at burningrubberradio.com for recipes from the NASCAR chef, John Dix, and more great content.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click. It's real easy, man.
Now back to more Burning Rubber Radio.
And we are back home, Burning Rubber Radio, and you're probably looking to the left and right of me here, and you're like, Where's Andy? Where's John? Well, I hate to inform everybody. John ran off to go start cooking this week's recipe, so he'll be back in a few minutes. And Andy was like, and literally, as John was starting to cook, I kid you not, Andy's like, "Oh my God, it smells so good," and ran away. So, but hey, the best part is I get to hang out with our featured guest of the week solo this week from Warriors Next Adventure. We have got Nick Ron with us here, and actually the cool part is Nick is joining us via video for the first time in a long time. We've had that option here available. Nick, welcome to Burning Rubber, buddy.
How you doing, Wayne? Thanks for having me.
Oh man, well, doing pretty good actually. It's it's hard to believe the NASCAR season's right around the corner. Daytona 500 this weekend, but what we want to talk to you about here, my friend, is that you have got a pretty badass charity, or I guess you could say 501c3 or nonprofit, however you want to describe it, in Warriors Next Adventure that does a lot to help veterans, especially those that are, battling PTS and a bunch of other stuff as they're coming back from, overseas or active duty or whatever the case might be. But you know what? I'm going to shut up and let you actually tell us what Warriors Next Adventure is all about.
Yeah, so I actually, when I got out, I was in for 6 years. I did 4 tours to Iraq and Afghanistan. I was Air Force Security Forces. I was lucky enough to be a 50 cal gunner in a couple squads, and it was I personally enjoyed it while I was there. But like many veterans, when I got out of the service, I lost all my connections, and we had a pretty quick turnaround for me from when I decided to get out to the time I actually got out, and I felt like I just had no support. And like many veterans, we tend to self-isolate, and we feel like we're alone and there's nobody for us, but we kind of do it to ourselves. Unfortunately, I struggled so bad to the point where I actually had a suicide attempt in 2015. Oh, man. And that was my awakening to realize, like, I really need to get my shit together.
Right.
And so I started studying, all the different things that help me, learn the knowledge that I have to help veterans now. I initially was doing it just to fix myself. It wasn't about other people at that time. But little did I know all the research I did on epigenetics, neuroscience. When you dig into the brain, you can understand what's going on a little bit. I always call it doing intel on the enemy. And after we get out of the military, this is our enemy, and we got to figure out how to beat it. And after about 4.5 years, I put together a program called the 6 Principle Process, which I'm in the middle of writing a book about it right now, called The Warrior's Path to Inner Peace. I realized that all of these things that I was doing for myself, eventually I started to share it with other veterans. And these guys started showing drastic changes in their lives. And so I was like, okay, well, I got to take this and do something more. So 2019, I started this nonprofit, and I've been in crisis intervention for about 19 years. And with the Air Force Security Forces, I was lucky enough to take hostage negotiation training, first aid training, active shooter training, and a couple other things led by the FBI. We had a couple CIA guys, a couple NSA, just a bunch of different local, alphabet folks come out and help us out, which was really cool because we also learned hostage negotiation and neuro-linguistic programming, which is another thing that I continue to practice these days.
So for those that don't know, what exactly is neuro-linguistics?
So neuro-linguistic programming is essentially convincing somebody to do something that you want them to do, but making it their idea. Gotcha. That's a very dumbed down explanation. Now, I'm not a pro in it or anything like that, so anyone out there freaking out, relax.
Don't worry. He's not going to tell you to go do something you're not going to do.
Well, here's the thing. Like, essentially, I tend to, a lot of it is about manipulation.
Right.
However, I use it to essentially trick veterans into wanting to heal themselves.
Right.
Because like I tell every veteran that comes to us, I cannot fix you. A therapist cannot fix you. Medication cannot fix you. All they are is tools that you need to learn how to use to fix yourself.
Right.
So neurolinguistic programming, in a nutshell, is a really good car salesman, gets you to think you want the car that you end up buying, right? Whether it's, because it's good for you or not, whatever. A big part of it is getting veterans to make healing their idea.
Right.
Because I can tell you, hey, you need to go do this. And a lot of people would be like, no, I'm not doing that. But if you say, hey, I don't know, maybe this might be a little difficult for you. They go, no, I can do it. Like, hell yeah, you can. So it's getting them to believe that the path of healing that we create together is their idea. And then I help them do it. I facilitate that.
See,
on top of that, we have a 20.
That is so cool. Like the fact that granted, I mean, we know manipulation in a lot of ways can be considered obviously negative connotation, but something like this where you've got soldiers that are coming home from war, or soldiers that have been on active duty that may have been away from their families for months or years at a time, that need that way back into society. This could do a lot more than just say, hey, I need to go get help at the VA. This could be a way to help reacclimate back to normal life, even for that matter 100%. Of fact, instead of going out and battling the bottle or battling pills or all the different things that folks that have mental health issues in general turn to, and then you see them like out on the streets or other things like that, because God knows our vets do not deserve that kind of treatment.
100%. And the biggest thing is, and I know manipulation is a negative word in a lot of senses, but what's negative about getting a veteran to realize the steps that they need to take to improve their lives? Right. I see nothing negative about that. And a big part is a lot of vets need somebody like them to model after, to be like, okay, that's a good example. I went from being suicidal to creating a national nonprofit to now getting ready to start my 4th business and getting to the point where I'm going to be financially free.
Wow.
And the beauty is, I also help other people start nonprofits. I've started 25 nonprofits in 2019, and the vast majority of them were veterans that call our crisis line. Now, part of what we do with Warriors Next Adventure is I was 6 years Air Force Security Forces and 8 years with the Minnesota State Patrol as a dispatcher. And I don't know why, but I tended to get all the suicide calls. And for some reason, it was so simple for me because of the fact that I had a suicide attempt. I can take myself back to where my mindset was during that time. And I essentially just speak to myself. In 2015, after my suicide attempt, I decided that the person who could have saved me didn't exist. So I was going to create that person and become that person for other veterans.
Wow.
And to this date, we've had 121 veterans call our crisis line, and they're all still alive. So I'm pretty damn good at what I do.
I would certainly say so. I would certainly say so. And the cool part now this is something I remember you telling me off the air earlier before we got on the horn here with you for the week, is that the crisis line that you have is literally your personal cell phone.
Right here. Goes right to my phone. I spend a lot of time up at night about 3 a.m. I tell people all the time that you should have a 3 a.m. friend, somebody that you can call and they're going to answer and they're going to help you out. And if you don't have it, it's us. I'm not saying we're better than the Veterans Crisis Line. I'm not saying we're better than the VA or anything like that. However, we are an addition to the Veterans Crisis Line.
Right.
There's a lot of vets that just won't do it. They won't call the Veteran Crisis Line because they don't believe it. But they see a guy like me, who is essentially the example, showing them, hey, listen, this is how I've dug myself out of this hole. You can do it too. And if some dumb Air Force Security Forces guy can do it, you can do it too. On top of that, we have a step process, right?
Right.
So step one, we call it stop the bleeding, right? Get the veterans out of crisis. Once you stop the bleeding, then you got to figure out what's the next thing that was causing the crisis. Now let's figure out how we can grow, but also let's focus on what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and let's figure out how we can improve your strengths and improve your weaknesses at the same time, if not get rid of those weaknesses. Because a lot of it is mindset and the way that you think about it.
Right.
Especially when my biggest irritation with veterans that I try to break as soon as possible is the fact that a lot of veterans, they think that civilians can't empathize with them because they didn't experience what they experienced. However, trauma is processed in the brain exactly the same. The only difference about trauma is the experience, right? So what they're going through is very similar to what a lot of civilians tend to go through after trauma. So getting a lot of guys to stop the whole, I served, so I'm better than you.
Right.
I'm not saying all veterans have that, but there are a lot of vets that get out of the military and they feel like they cannot relate to civilians.
Right.
It's absolutely 100% possible, which is why we allow civilians to come with on some of the things that we do. However, 100% of our funding goes towards veterans. We have a couple different programs that we use to get veterans out. We focus on 3 things with our nonprofit: camaraderie, sense of purpose, and adventure. Now, the programs we have a jiu-jitsu program where if a veteran wants to train jiu-jitsu, doesn't matter what disability the status they are at all, but if a veteran wants to try jiu-jitsu, we'll pay for their first month of jiu-jitsu and we'll purchase their first gi for them. So that saves them about $150 to $200, depending on how expensive these are. And then at my gym here in Minnesota at Trax BJJ,
right,
I do private lessons for veterans all the time. I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I've been training for about 16 years. On top of that, which is more relatable to you guys, we have a dirt track racing program.
Right.
We have a street stock, which is, I believe, a 78 Monte Carlo, but I'm not 100% sure.
That's a beautiful
We had a 305 in it last year. Oh, dude, that thing purrs, man. We had a 305 in it last year, but we ended up blowing the engine, which is fine because I had a 350 in the garage, and we wanted to move to the street stock division anyway.
Right.
So we're getting that souped up right now. We're looking for a power glide transmission right now, so that's like the last thing we need. And we also need we did a new rear end as well. But what we do is we train veterans how to work on these cars. Now, I'm not like a mechanic. I'm not a race car super smart. I'm not the guy that's going to diagnose your engine or anything like that. But I can do just about all of it. We have a guy named Jim who's been racing for years and years and years. Huge NASCAR fan. That's all he talks about. But with him, we're also doing the Lucky Dog race. We have a 75 Plymouth Duster. We just put a brand new 5.7 liter Hemi in there too. So we're hoping to do that in July, which is a 24-hour race up at Brainerd International Speedway. So he's like our main tech guy. So he's the main crew chief. And then we also have Jake, which is for the Hornet division, which is the car that the veterans race. We have a Saturn Ion, and we do the Hornet division, which is all 4 cylinders. And it's just the reason why we choose that car is it's the safest thing for veterans to come in and do with no experience.
Right.
And you're not going to get hurt. I've seen maybe one crash in the Hornet division that was mild. Most of them are just bumps, and it's pretty safe. And then we also have
a little bit of beating and banging, but nothing too. A little bit of beating and banging, but nothing too bad.
Yeah. And what we do is we put cameras inside the car, one on the driver, one facing the front, and then I take videos from the side while they're racing, and then we make a race video for every veteran too. So they all get their own race car video, which is pretty sweet. And we pay for everything. The only thing that veterans have to pay for is their license, which is about $30 to $50, because we want to see some commitment. If you're going to be racing our cars, we want to make sure you're committed to it.
Right.
And then we also have a mountain climb program. Every year we take veterans to Colorado, and I put them through a 6-day mental health course using the 6 principle process. We go out there on a Monday. Everyone flies in on Tuesday. And then this year we're doing equine therapy with Operation Equine. These guys are amazing. They're not even charging us, which is wonderful. And then we go out to the mountains for the retreat portion of it, and I put them through the process. And then Friday that we're out there, we climb a mountain, which is it's beautiful because it's a great metaphor for what we're trying to do.
Right.
I'm not going to go over all the 6 principles because I'm a motivational speaker, and this can be a 2-hour video. But the 2 principles that we really focus on when we're doing the mountain climb is third principle is accept your past. The 4th principle is look forward to a positive future. Now, while the veterans are climbing the mountain, we're focusing on the past. We're focusing on all the things that maybe what we call anchors that are holding us back from achieving the future that we want. And then when we get to the top of the mountain, which is the big success, right? The beauty of the whole point of this trip is to climb a mountain. And then they leave it at the top of the mountain. We do a small ceremony. And then on the way down, everyone has a hiking partner, and their goal is to start talking about what is the future going to look like for me. And then what we do is we help these veterans figure out what is their future, what's their purpose in life, and how can we help them achieve it. And then we give them a plan. So it's a wonderful trip.
Man, that is some really good stuff. And like you said, if I knew we had 2 hours to sit and digest this, we most certainly could, but sadly time is not our friend when it comes to the show. But
no worries.
With that all said, though, folks, if you ever want to check out Warrior's Next Adventure, Nick, where can they go to check it out at?
So we made it easy for everyone. All of our social media is Warriors Next Adventure. Pretty easy to find us. Our website is warriorsnextventure.com. We have a bunch of different merchandise on there, and 100% of all profits go back to veterans. It's a 100% volunteer organization. Myself, the board members, my VP, all the ambassadors, everything is volunteer. So when you donate to us, it's a guarantee that that money is going back into the organization to help veterans in multiple different ways.
Very, very cool stuff. Folks, make sure you go check out Warriors Next Adventure. Make sure you get a hold of Nick if you ever need anything. And folks, again, if you are a veteran or have a family member that has served or a friend that is a veteran, make sure you, if they need help, reach out to these awesome folks over at Warriors Next Adventure, Nick, Ron. And with that said, Nick, we're about ready to head to our next commercial break here before we go see our NASCAR chef who ran away on us because obviously he wanted to go cook. But with that being the case here, we've got a tradition we want to get you in on. Kenny Wallace started it back in 2008 and shouted, "Burning rubber, baby," at the top of his lungs. Those three famous words I think would do good for all the vets right now.
All right. Burning rubber, baby.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Nick Ron of Warriors Next Adventure. Again, folks, make sure you go check him out all over social media at Warriors Next Adventure. And with that said, we're going to step aside. We're going to take our next foreign fuel. And when we come back, we've got the NASCAR chef, John Dix, and the recipe of the week.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
Now's the time to go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use the promo code to save 50% on your MyPillow 2.0. Not only that, for a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
mypillow.com.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
that when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
Is simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope. And love.
And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
The grill is fired up, and the chef has something good cooking. It's the NASCAR chef, John Dix, and more Burning Rubber.
And we are back on Burning Rubber Radio. And Andy, I got to say that that talk we just had with Nick, what an amazing gentleman, and everything he's got going on with Warriors Next.
Great
Adventure.
organization over there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I tell you guys, when I reached out to him and talked to him, man, I knew we had to get him on the show, and what he does and what he's doing for everybody, we had to put the word out. So,
most definitely.
Great guy and great organization. We love that.
100%, hands down, best cat you could ever ask to talk to. And again, folks, if you ever want to check out everything going on with Warriors Next Adventure, make sure you go check out warriorsnextadventure.com and Warriors Next Adventure on all social media platforms, and stay in touch with Nick and the awesome folks over at Warriors Next Adventure. But while that said, here we have got to get ourselves over to the. Oh, man, I smell it already. I'm running to the grill, baby. John Dix, you're on, sir. What do you got for us this week?
Well, guys, like I promised a couple of weeks ago, we got a lot of ball games going on this time of year, which they're over with now, and we got some car racing coming on. We got the Daytona 500 this week, man.
Oh, yeah.
And we are going to do some bacon shrimp skewers.
Ooh.
All right.
Talk to me.
Let me ask. Is this from the shrimp? Is it coming from JR the Shrimp Pimp?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Andy, because it is. You know, JR, our shrimp pimp, brought me this shrimp, and we cooked it up. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. Hit me up or hit us up. And if you're in South Alabama or anywhere, I met with JR the other day, and he was sending some shrimp out to Tennessee and to Colorado. So he ships it all over the place.
So after your recipe here, let's talk about to folks how they can get a hold of the shrimp pimp and get some shrimp, baby.
Well, I'll tell you what. Before we do that, I got a thing here. If we hit 500 subscribers by the end of March, we're gonna
on YouTube.
On YouTube, if we hit 500 subscribers on YouTube by the end of March, or if we can hit 250 on Rumble by the end of March, whichever happens first, we're going to pick a random name out of the hat, and somebody's going to win themselves about 3 or 4 pounds of shrimp.
There you go, Wayne. That's a good idea. Yeah, we'll get our shrimp pimp to tighten them up.
Oh, yeah. All right, NASCAR Chef John Dix, what is that recipe of the week, sir?
Okay, gang, we're going to do the bacon shrimp skewers. We want to start with about a half a fresh pineapple. Cut it in about half-inch cubes. We need 16 jumbo shrimp, peeled and deveined, again from the shrimp pimp. 8 slices of bacon, cut them in half, and half a cup of barbecue sauce. You know, whatever barbecue sauce you like. I make my own. If you want my recipe, just hit me up on the email or on social media, and we'll send it out to you. What we're going to do, guys, we're going to soak 16 wooden skewers in water for about an hour and get your grill fired up. Now we're going to place the chunk we're going to place a chunk of pineapple on each shrimp and wrap it with bacon and slide the skewer through it to hold it together. You want to lay each skewer on the grill and cook on medium heat for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then turn them over on the other side and baste them with the barbecue sauce. Cook them again for about another 10 minutes, and you want to turn them over again so you get the sauce heated on both sides. Very simple. We're only talking about 20 minutes of cooking. Put them together and enjoy them. And when you're watching the Daytona 500, this will be something good to munch on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that already sounds good, brother. Bacon shrimp skewers from the NASCAR Chef John Dix. And again, folks, if you ever want to reach out to John and get a hold of this week's recipe, all you got to do is send him an email at racing, that's RACING, the number 2, the grill at gmail.com, RACING, the number 2, the grill at gmail.com here. And John, Daytona 500, buddy. Andy, same with you. Daytona 500. I'm ready to have some of these skewers already. I don't even want to wait until Sunday.
John, how do we get a hold of the shrimp pimp? How do folks get some? Do you know yet?
Well, good question, Andy. The best thing to do is hit him up on Facebook. Okay, he does a lot of social media. It is JRS _ shrimp.
Okay.
That's his Facebook page. And if you want to, if you can remember this, you call him at 334-662-2798 or get a hold of any of us. We know how to get a hold of JR. And he has scallops. He has all kinds of stuff. Shrimp is his main thing, but he has all kinds of seafood, and he can ship it right out to you.
All right.
Well, we're talking the shrimp pimp, and you start talking about stripping.
Next thing you know,
shows right off those things, baby.
I was going to say, next thing you know, we're going to have the damn bearskin rug coming out again.
Oh, God. We're going to run JR off.
There we are. That shrimp, baby.
Yeah, man. Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, with that said here, folks, man, well, as much fun as it is getting a recipe in from the NASCAR Chef John Dix here, we've got to step aside. We've got to take ourselves one final foreign fuel, and when we come back here, we've got just a little bit of news to touch on, and then it's time for season opening picks for the Daytona 500 when we come back.
To celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
that when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
Is simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope. And love.
And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
Burning Rubber is social. Follow us on X at twitter.com/BRR_radio. Now back to more Burning Rubber.
And we are back on Burning Rubber Radio. It's producer Wayne along with the NASCAR chef John Dix and Andrew DeLay. And again, folks, real quickly here before we get into some final news of the week here, we got to talk about our newest sponsor of the show here, MyPillow. Go over to mypillow.com/BRR and use promo code BRR at checkout for free shipping on your entire order. And no, Andy, I was not going to say free shit.
Man, I tell you what, you're giving that air wrench a bunch of workout this week.
And it's a good thing you weren't going to say that, Wayne.
Yeah, I was going to say, because, that would be a little bit weird. But again, folks.
Yeah, don't forget, man, we still got all those folks out there in Thurmont, Maryland on WTHU FM. We definitely don't want the FCC coming and cracking you on top of the head, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, all they'll get is sweetness anyway. I mean, I'm a good-hearted boy, but.
Oh boy.
Don't forget, folks, you can also check out MyPillow at their website, mypillow.com/BRR, and also use the promo code BRR at checkout for free shipping on your entire order. Or you can also call them at 1-800-322-8370. That's 1-800-322-8370, mypillow.com/BRR, and use code BRR at checkout for free shipping on your entire order. But back to news of the week here real quick. And Formula One is a little bit of news here this week, Andy. There's another American that is coming on board with Formula One for 2024, and that would be Jack Crawford. He's officially inked a deal with Aston Martin Formula One for 2024, and so he'll be touring the world with all those wine and cheese.
I've never heard of the guy.
I've never heard of him either until
John.
No, I hadn't heard of him.
Yeah, never heard of the guy. But one thing we're going to touch on real quick, and this is something that Taylor actually brought to the forefront the other day. Taylor Burris, by the way, one of our other co-hosts that comes in from time to time with the iRacers Download, is that did you hear that Andretti was actually denied their entry into Formula One?
I heard that, Wayne.
Oh my gosh, I remember the announcement. Oh, wonder what happened. There must have been something with the bank account not having enough money, because there needed to be a ton of it to get in there.
Interestingly enough, it wasn't the bank account.
Wow.
It's the fact is they felt that the Andretti name didn't need any more popularity from Formula One, and rather in turn they felt it would be more of a detriment to have the Andretti name in Formula One versus not.
Wait, hold on, Wayne. Wait, hold on a second. Get ready with that air wrench. Bullshit.
That's what I said.
Yeah, they don't want their butt whipped by Andretti is what it is.
Pretty much.
But it is something happened. Someone's got their Wheaties peed on or something.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't. Get out of here with that crap. That's the worst excuse I've ever heard.
Yep, that's the way I look at it. It's just honestly just a bullshit excuse. But hey, you know what?
Man.
Oh man, but it is what it is. Moving on here over to the world of Dirt Car Nationals real quick here, and this past weekend here, and now this is actually one name that always have had a little bit of trouble pronouncing here. Sheldon Hodenschild executed the perfect rebound during Saturday's Dirt Car Nationals finale and takes home $20,000 in Volusia.
That's another name I've never heard of. Hey, wait, talking about dirt cars over here at East Bay Raceway, Kyle Larson in the Tampa Bay area is going to be running with that open wheel midget thing that he's doing. What's the name of that? You said at the beginning of the show.
The High Limit Opener, or the High Limit Series.
That's it right there. They're going to be running here at East Bay. So that ought to be pretty cool, I'm sure. I wonder if old Kenny Wallace is going to be running it too.
That'll be an interesting thing to see. And actually, speaking of the High Limit series as well here, coming up here shortly in the High Limit opener here, James McFadden was set to return again for the High Limit series this year, but the opener looks like he is not going to be able to. And in turn, we are going to have, and I'm trying to make sure I have the correct name here, Dominic Scelzi will take his place for the opener with Roth Motorsports. So that'll be an interesting one to talk about when that comes around here. And speaking of the World Series of Racing, as far as everything going on with the season openers for a lot of different series, looks like Gio Ruggiero won himself night one at the World Series of Asphalt down there in Florida as well. So that's pretty good stuff over at New Smyrna Speedway. So great stuff for him. And then Jonathan Davenport also, speaking of East Bay Raceway, Andy, Jonathan Davenport became the 7th different winner in the first 11 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series events of the season with his win this past weekend at East Bay Raceway down there in Florida. And so some good stuff there for Jonathan Davenport. And last but not least, we did get confirmation on the NHRA stuff we were talking about at the beginning of the show here. So the Winter Nationals have already happened. The Gator Nationals, however, are forthcoming are down in Gainesville, Florida, and that is going to be March 7th through the 10th. So 1 month from this week, we are going to see the Gator Nationals for the National Hot Rod Association.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. I need to get up there for one of those.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Would be a lot of fun to see you be like 340 miles an hour passing by you.
My problem is you walk through the garage area at those things, man, and you like to die with that methane or whatever it is.
Oh, dude, the smell of the nitromethane. Oh,
holy good Lord! It's like.
Nah, see, you're not. That proves you and I are definitely wired differently. I've been down in the pits with the NHRA, and I love the smell of that nitromethane.
Okay,
is that why you're coughing, Wayne?
The only thing is I don't smoke when I'm around the nitromethane because otherwise.
Yeah,
I would say. I hope not, brother.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That wouldn't be too good for you, brother.
No. I'm already ugly enough. I don't need any extra ugly.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, that's true.
But with that said, here, folks, it is that time where we get into our opening round of picks for Daytona and the Daytona 500 qualifying, being held this past Wednesday. For folks listening later on in the week on most of our radio stations, and also later on in the week when you hear us on YouTube, Rumble, and all over the world on wingding.tv. But with that said, here, Andrew DeLay, you have pick number 1, sir.
All right, I'm about ready to spin your heads. You ready?
Oh Lord,
Jimmy Johnson.
Okay, that's not as crazy as I thought it was going to be. I thought you were going to say Bubba Wallace.
Oh, but come on.
That would have made my head spin if you would have said Bubba Wallace.
He does run good there, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super speedway. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, he does run good at super speedways.
NASCAR chef John Dix, you got the second pick, sir.
Well, as much as I hate to, and I'm picking Joey Logano. And I tell you the reason I am. Because our buddy Tim Fedua now is Joey's spotter.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's got some extra experience coming up.
Hey, hold on. Before I forget this, Wayne, guess what? John, you're going to love this. I'm sorry to interrupt this. I almost forgot. our very own Jeremy Taylor. My cousin, co-host, is now an over-the-wall pit crew member for Colleague Racing in the Xfinity Series.
That is seriously badass.
Yeah, that is cool, and we're so proud of Jeremy and happy for him.
JT, you rock. I'm sorry, Wayne, for interrupting. I just almost forgot about that.
It's all good, man. Hey, JT's worth the interruption, you know? So, but I would say if I have to pick any one specific driver and just, again, it's a total crapshoot with it being Daytona, obviously, because you never know from 1 minute to the next who's going to do what. But if I had to...
BJ McLeod.
No, as much as I like BJ and as much as I like Keith, no, not for Daytona, not for Daytona. But if I had to think of just any one driver I would love to see, I am honestly going to say it is going to be. God, why am I forgetting his name off the top of my head? He's actually no, I know who I'm going with. I'm going to go with Forever's replacement. Josh Berry.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, either Stuart Haas is going to come out and whip everyone's ass this year, or something's got to happen at Stuart Haas Racing.
Yeah, I know. Tony put the gauntlet down the other day, so they better do something.
I know Zippindelli ought to have been saying something.
Yeah, I talked to Cheddar at the last Talladega race, and I believe at that time he's going to still be there. So,
good stuff.
You know, he's a good car chief. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm gonna say my money's on Josh Berry to take home something for Daytona this year, because I mean he's got the talent, he's got the skills, and he is in top-notch equipment. So and you know, having guys like Cheddar on his six to be the car chief and everything like that, I got a feeling Josh is gonna do really, really well this year coming up at Daytona. But with that said here, boys, it is that time where we get out of here for another week of Burning Rubber Radio. And for everybody involved, NASCAR chef John Dix, Andy DeLay, Jeremy Taylor, Zachary Murtis, I am producer Wayne. We love you guys, and until next week, Burning Rubber, baby!
Rubber, baby.
Burning Rubber, baby.
Burning Rubber Radio is a production of White Lightning Entertainment with studios in Statesville, North Carolina, and was brought to you by Drive Refine. It's more than driver coaching. It's Drive Refine. Visit driverefine.com to get signed up today. This week's show was produced by Wayne Owens. Remember to visit burningrubberradio.com for news, recipes, and more great content. Burning Rubber Radio can be seen on Rumble, YouTube, or wingding.tv and heard on radio stations nationwide. Any use of the accounts or descriptions contained in this broadcast must be the express written permission of White Lightning Entertainment.